Greetings. I am Cheyenne Kramer, and thank you so much for your interest in learning more about our upcoming event on September 21st in Raleigh, North Carolina, called Igniting the Spark to Eradicate Suicide. We're excited that you're here, and I'm going to go ahead and jump right into our presentation. So I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Let's see. I just got to find. Ah, there it is. Super duper. I'll put it on slideshow so you can more effectively see what we're talking about here. And away we go. So, Breaking the Silence with Spark. This is a collaboration of four different organizations. At the middle is kind of the Hope Institute, We Care Partnerships Network. I'm one of the co founders of that. We have Nation of Diversity here in Raleigh, and the um, ESS, I'm going blank on ESS right now. Envision Speaker Series, there it is. So we're grateful for everybody who's come together in this collaborative venture. And as you can see, we're talking about breaking the silence. Our goal is to be able to start to normalize this conversation. Too many people are not willing to talk about it. They're not willing to discuss it because so many people have so many emotions tied to their experience of being touched by suicide. But you can see what SPARK stands for. We're all about suicide prevention, participating in an open dialogue, addressing societal causes, rejuvenating body, mind, spirit, and kindness towards all. So, we ask people to think about this because suicide amongst our youth and veterans is accelerating. Yes, there are other groups that are being affected as well. This is just two main groups that the Hope Institute is working with. We welcome all people who've been touched by suicide to come to the table with this event. And we're saying, hey, we don't believe this is strictly a mental health issue. We believe there's a lot of societal issues involved. And there are a number of factors that are not sufficiently being addressed. So let's take a look. This is our core team. You can see I've been out here teaching in colleges for a number of years, universities. And yeah, that was one of the reasons that we were asked to come to Raleigh is because of campus suicides. My husband is a Marine Corps veteran. He's very concerned about the number of veteran suicides out here. And we've also worked with a lot of youth, and he's very concerned about our youth as well. Mariama Ba, our young lady in the middle, she is an amazing young lady who is part of, she founded Nation of Diversity, a 501c3 here in Raleigh. She's all about mental wellness. And Keith McNally down in the left-hand corner, he is a Marine Corps veteran who actually is a two-time suicide survivor. And Rick Mabe, he is our partner. He's also the founder of the Hope Institute. He's our partner in We Care Partnerships Network. His dad committed suicide when he was only 14. It took him a good 25, 30 years to be able to get his life back on track after the trauma he experienced with that. So those are the reasons we're here. And we're really clear and we like to be transparent. None of us are counselors. We're not therapists. We don't have PhDs in mental health. We're not that. But what we are is a group of people who are saying, okay, we already have our mental health system. And, it would appear from where we are right now, it's just not enough. So we're here to create an adjunct, a complementary piece of the system that together we are hoping and praying can produce better results. This is one of my favorite quotes. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life thinking it's a failure. And I believe this is a core part of our society at this point in time, is that far too many people are like a fish that somebody has been forcing to climb a tree instead of engaging with our natural skills, our natural talents, the gifts that the creator gave us. If we get into utilizing more of those going forward, we will have a much happier society. So, if you haven't heard, suicide rates are alarming and they're not slowing down. I truly believe it was hard to find some really recent statistics, but especially since the pandemic, it's very serious that at least a third of our youth have seriously considered it. 62% increase in suicide between 2007 and 2021. Here in North Carolina, they're telling us that suicide is the second leading cause of death in 10 to 18-year-olds. And if you look at the veteran side of things, we've heard for a long time 22 veterans a day, or military folks in general. We're hearing now that statistics may be as high as 44. There has definitely been increase in suicide all across the board. It's touching every race, every religion, every socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter who or where you are. This is just this is an indicator that there's something wrong in our society. So these are some of the quotes that we've heard just since we've been here in the Raleigh area. We've been out asking people about this whole issue. I feel so guilty. I should have been able to stop them is a common one, which is one of the reasons why people hesitate to talk about this. My children have been traumatized by the loss of classmates, and I don't know how to help them. That even was my case. I lost a high school classmate that I was very fond of at a very young age. And oh my gosh, it was quite traumatic. I've lost two more friends since then. And it's just, yeah, we tend to feel guilty. We should have been able to do something. We've heard I had absolutely no clue that my child was considering this. This is from people who have lost kids. And then I really wanted to end it all because the pain was too intense and I couldn't see a way out of it. These are just common thoughts of people that we've heard from since we've been here in North Carolina. We're trying to help spread some knowledge out here as a result of this event. Dr. Joel Wallach is one of the people we've been partnered with for 7 years, and he's done over 20,000 autopsies. And it is just amazing the data he has collected. And part of that data is about brain health. He has documented how a lack of minerals in our diet affects our brain health, affects our mental health, affects our feelings and our hormone balances and all of these things. He's been featured in the Smithsonian Institution and he's actually sued the FDA 8 times and won every time because they can't argue with the amount of data this man has. So just so you know, quick thumbnail, he actually was almost institutionalized when he was young. And it was because he started asking questions to his parents about why did they feed alfalfa pellets to the animals on their farm. And when he was told that it was because they needed the minerals to keep them healthy, he was inspired to go grab a bowl of alfalfa pellets, pour milk on it, and eat it. 3 days later, his personality had completely changed, and the institutionalization was canceled. Think about that. That's pretty powerful testimony right there. In general, mineral deficiencies are destroying our brains. Our soils have been stripped. We used to have wood ash to replenish our gardens. We're not, there's not enough people with gardens, not enough people replenishing those minerals, and instead, we're all eating far too much sugar, which definitely adds to our problems with ADD and ADHD, but it also adds many more. These are all photos from programs we've done in the past with youth entrepreneurship. I want you to hear this. Our youth want to create, and creation is a huge piece of the puzzle. The brain is happiest when it's creating. I don't think that's an accident. If you should believe for even a moment that we were made in the image and likeness of a creator, then we were born to create. And, we've worked in the schools and we can tell you entrepreneurship is not a focus, but it is a creative endeavor. Creating is of the spirit. We believe science is an important thing, but what about God? What about our spiritual selves? We've got to start putting God back into society and recognizing our spiritual selves that are yearning to create. And of course, even when you look into our school, the disappearance of arts and the trades, we need these very much in our society, but they are dwindling. Found this to be a very interesting thing on a webinar recently. There's an MD, his name is Dr. Daniel Siegel, and he has said that there is far too much commonality now between what our young people are feeling and what our veterans or our military personnel are typically feeling. And he used the term VUCA, which is a military term. It stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Basically, anybody who's in a war zone is in a constant state of unpredictable change. And it definitely can contribute to anxiety and things like PTSD. And according to Dr. Siegel, he says our youth are feeling the same way. Think about that. They look out in society and all these people are fighting with each other. And there's, whether we're talking about race or gender or, socioeconomic status, our politics is all about fighting and anger and calling each other names. And social media bullying is huge. And then you've got, every now and then you hear about threats of nuclear war. I mean, all of these things are creating this VUCA environment, and it's affecting our young people who have a hard enough time navigating who they are, especially in their teenage years, but even beyond that. So understand there's a lot of commonality right now. Our young people and people all over the world are feeling like we are living in one big war zone. That's something that we as a society should be really concerned about. So again, Dr. Dan Siegel, MD, this is the prescription he has recommended for young people. We happen to think it's probably a pretty good prescription for everybody. ES stands for helping people with that emotional spark to find the joy emotions and not just the negative ones. Social engagement, so important, but not necessarily through a screen. Yes, this is wonderful. We can communicate this way, but we've got to have social engagement around real people. So many people are afraid of people, don't know how to talk to people anymore. We need that face to face social engagement when we can get it. Young people, novelty seeking. They always want to try something new. They want to be involved in something different. Novelty seeking is really important. And then creative exploration kind of goes back to some of the entrepreneurship stuff, things of that nature. These are what's important in this day and age. So, what components will be addressed by our event? We're going to have a panel discussion of real life experiences. We're going to have wellness experiences for people to try. We want people to try something new and see how it helps them, see how it makes them feel. We're going to have a big gathering at Dorothea Dix Park with a prayer vigil and development of teams with people who have similar passions, bringing them together to be able to start to brainstorm and pray with each other so that they can bring some of these health and healing facilities into being that are, there's so many people carrying these healing visions and they just haven't had the ability to go forward with them. And then a wellness fund with our sponsorships, with our fees that we're asking for vendors for our wellness experience. We're starting to build a wellness fund so that people can try new modalities that are not necessarily covered by medical insurance. This is one of the things that is harming our people so badly is, people get caught where, oh my goodness, I can't afford this if it's not covered by my insurance. And there's so many things out here that could be improving the lives of people. So these are all things being addressed. We're asking people to learn about what does nature have to offer us. I believe that the intelligence that made us also had the intelligent foresight to create things on this planet to help heal us. And we're going to be teaching people about some of those things that are so wonderful because they're usually without a whole lot of side effects. Beautiful thing. We're asking people to learn about what's the nature of vibration? There is scientific validation around that. And people like our favorite drum chick, Dory Staley, in this picture, we were helping people experience the drumming and how it can help reduce anxiety, reduce depression, reduce stress. And I know that Dory has even had experience working with people on the autism spectrum and helping them to see improvement. So vibration is real, but it's not something that's typically taught in our medical community. And then, how many of us have ever researched integrative modalities? Duke Integrative Medicine is something that was created by Duke University here in the Triangle. And yet, I don't think a lot of people even know it exists. And it is a huge clinic over there that takes the best of both worlds. It takes Western medicine and what we know there, and also brings in different complementary modalities so that they can create better results. Right now, most people don't know, but the US spends more money than anybody else on the planet when it comes to healthcare, but we rank number 40 in the results we're getting. Again, that should be a warning sign to us. There's something wrong here, and we need to explore further. How many of our societal norms have become hazardous to our health? Oh my goodness, our people, our young people especially, they hang their self-worth on social media. And it's like, oh my God, if I don't get enough likes on my posts and I don't get enough people who are commenting, then there's something wrong with me. And, we need to help them move away from that and find their self worth outside of the screen. Not to mention video games. We have some of the most violent video games you could ever imagine if you've never looked at them. And this is all things that affects our brain health, affects our brain chemistry. We have to start getting more engaged in helping people to find more positive things to feed into our brain and less of the cyberbullying, less of violence that gets fed to us consistently. And then how can we come together as a community to shift these trends? Well, that's where we are renting space at Dix Park in the area right where we used to have our mental health hospital here in North Carolina. And it was moved out and turned into a park. Well, we're going to go to Flowers Field and we're going to bring as many faith based people together there as we can. We're going to have prayer vigil, but part mastermind session. Going to encourage people to search their hearts and figure out what groups of people could they most feel good about helping and being able to, be part of a group that wants to help with a new facility for seniors, or being part of a group wants to be part of a new facility for young people aging out of the foster care system, or some other group, veterans. Oh my goodness, all of these things are so important. And it's time for us to come together. If the only thing you can offer to a movement is prayer, then we want you in that team offering prayer. But if there's more that you can do, if you've got gifts and talents that the creator gave you, we want you figuring out a way to use them so we can start to solve these problems. So we still believe in this quote, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. But part of our job is to help people dream again, to help find hope in the middle of chaos. And, we can choose. I heard somebody say the other day, and this is so true, our social media feed and even our Google feed is determined by what we look for online. So if we're looking for positivity and we're looking for things that help to feed our dreams, that's what we're going to find more and more of. If we're looking for evidence of all of the horrible things happening in the world, then that's what we're going to be fed more of. So just understand, even a small change in how people are using these to start to think in terms of more positive stuff can make a huge difference in the world. So we need people coming together and helping. We actually have a t-shirt donor. They're donating 100 free t-shirts to us now. That's a wonderful thing. We're working on a potential for food donor, but we can definitely use help with technology donor, speaker donors, assistance fund donors. That's a biggie. And then outreach. We're working on, being able to pay for marketing with people and get more help that way. We're going to definitely look for volunteers, but if we can get to a place of being able to pay people to help us with marketing, that would be fabulous. And then, of course, another thing is we're encouraging people to donate $20 tickets for our wellness experience, because there may be people who can't afford that. Those are the same people that we're building the wellness fund for. So even if you can't be here, even if it's not for you, if you can donate a $20 event ticket to somebody, create a scholarship for them to experience a new form of wellness in their life, it's going to be an amazing thing. So we do want to give a great shout out to our three big sponsors at the moment. Thank you to Chris Hendricks for being willing to do a fundraising concert for us. Sally Promotions is donating that T-shirt. And Unity of the Triangle is our sponsor for the space. And we are so grateful. We are going to be making announcements really soon about Chris's benefit concert. So be on the lookout for that information. So we invite you to consider if this resonates with you. Are you wanting to attend as a participant? Can you volunteer? Can you make even a small donation? Everything is going to help in this big, big effort. And could you be a sponsor for our event? This is the main website that we're using. It's ignitethespark.co. And on that website, you can find all kinds of amazing things. So I'm going to see if I can exit out of our slideshow, and I'm going to show you that website here. So here is the website, and it is ignitethespark.co. You can see that up here. You'll find a lot of information about the event. This is the WRAL clip that talks about how suicide has become such a big deal here in North Carolina. 71 days today until our event. And you can see right here, this button actually will take you to register. for to attend either in person or virtually. This button is available for people to become a vendor. If you come down further, this button is available if you would like to be a volunteer. You can register there. And here's some information about some of our panelists. And a thank you to Unity of the Triangle. And at the very bottom, people can just help us with sponsors and donations by clicking that blue button. And I will show you just a bit here. This is our registration page. And, we've got two forms. Either somebody can purchase full day access with, which includes our $20 ticket to the wellness experience, where you can actually experience some wonderful things that'll make you feel better almost immediately. And then here, if somebody just wants to be in our be able to view our panel discussion either in person or virtual, they can make that determination here and submit registration. The sanctuary only holds 300 people. We believe it's going to fill up pretty quickly. So if you want to be in person for that panel discussion, make sure you fill out that form so we know that you're coming. And if you fill out this one, you will be included in the in-person panel discussion. So there is that page. And then here is, whoops, got it twice. Boom, let's get rid of that. This is our volunteer opportunity. We have all kinds of volunteer opportunity forms. Help us with fundraising, selling t-shirts, ticket sales for the wellness experience, on-site ticket sales and cash handlers, setting up and tearing down, parking attendants at both the church and Dix Park, registration table for checking in, getting info from those who did not pre-register, people who can help us with social media promotion, Facebook researchers to help us with reaching out to churches, faith-based organizations, and people to assist with the Chris Hendricks concert. So any of these things that you can do, either part of the day on the event or just giving us 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your time to help with some reach out activity. We've got an amazing woman named Rada Mills who's going to help us with some of that. And let's see, it looks like I might have lost our page. So I'm going to pull it up here right now. Here is our page for sponsorship and donations. And so, yeah, if somebody just wants to make a donation of any amount, if they click on our Donate Now button, it'll take you here to the Hope Institute donations. If you don't necessarily care where we use the funds, just use no preference. But we have a whole list of things that if you would like your money to go towards technology, to our assistance fund, our prayer vigil permit, our wellness scholarships, just check one of those and we will make sure that the money is allocated towards your desires. And then if we come back over here and we look at sponsorship, we want people to know that our sponsors are going to be helping with health issues, social impact issues, education, as well as spiritual impact. And then if they click on the sponsorship button, you can see we've got 4 levels of sponsorship. We've got our bronze, our silver, our gold, and our platinum. Our sponsors' logos will be included on our back of our t-shirts and, definitely be able to get you some good promotion out here as we move along. So, depending on who you are, where you are in the world, and what works for you, we just invite you to consider becoming part of the movement to break the silence and move forward in suicide prevention. So I thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, any comments, free to reach out to me. My email is all over those websites. You can reach me that way or find me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook, reach out. And I hope you'll go to ignitethespark.co and just figure out How are you willing to make a difference in helping to save lives? Because that's what we're talking about. It's all about saving lives, helping people discover a purpose, a passion, hope, and to find joy in living once again. I am Shan Kramer, and I thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a blessed day.